Good day everybody, my name is Awesomecrunch and welcome back to more Subnautica Below Zero news. Now, this episode there is quite a lot to catch up on. I'm sorry I've been gone for a while, I just haven't had the time to do videos on Below Zero, but there is some time now, so I'm going to try and get some done while I can and try and keep on top of some of the newest stuff. Now, this episode we have a really cool story lead-in spoiler sort of thing. So if you're not looking for story spoilers, this isn't the video for you. I would probably leave now. You can carry on if you want to risk it, but I will let you know when we're going into the proper spoilers. Essentially, there's a lot to do with the story going on in this video, and we also have some animations for creatures that we haven't seen before, and also just a ton of stuff on Favreau, which is their new replacement of Trello, if you didn't know that. And it's all looking pretty cool, so we really have our first taste of proper Below Zero gameplay. That's right at the end, so if you do want to stick around, then you will be able to see that, and if you don't, then that is fine. I can understand that you wouldn't want story spoilers. So, first up today, we're just looking at this Favreau card, which talks about radio, which is a reintegration of the radio that we had in the original Subnautica base game. Now, this one, instead of just being the core of the story and you having to click on it every time to sort of expand the story, this time they're thinking of it taking more of an optional story content route rather than actually forming the main basis of the game. This suggests there's going to be some sort of side quests, or maybe it will just be extra lore that you wouldn't have got if you didn't build the radio and listen to it. It says if you do build the radio, you might get some signals to tech sites or other points of interest, so obviously this is just a suggestion at the moment. Not entirely sure this is actually going to go into the game. This is just, as always, a potential thing. So next up we have a creature that we hadn't actually seen before. I believe we hadn't seen it before this video. It had been talked about a lot, and I did mention it in a previous video. It's called the Arrow Ray, and people thought maybe it's the same as the ray that we've seen already, but no, it's not. It's definitely different, and you can see actually in this that it does bear a sort of resemblance to peepers with the eyes on the side, but also reminds me of the spinefish. And it sort of has the body of a hoopfish. It's a really confusing creature, but it looks really cool, and there are some really nice animations for it, and I can't wait to see that in the game if it does make it in. So while I was gone for so long, we did actually get some concepts for creatures that we hadn't seen before as well. Now, this is the ice worm, which had been spoken about for so long, but we hadn't been able to see before. Now, this is a thing that's going to be buried under the ground, and it's going to burst up and hurt you. They're essentially crab snakes on the Arctic, which is quite terrifying. They look like they have little legs like a centipede, and they have like 4 jaws and loads of teeth inside, so you really do not want to mess with that. But you can see how it would break through the surface of the ice with that massive cone thing on its head, like a massive horn essentially. We also have this, which is being called the Shadow Leviathan. It's a really strange concept. We haven't really seen anything like it before. I don't really understand what it is or how it will work. It looks like it has some sort of legs or just mandible claws. I'm really not entirely sure what they are. If they're legs, then that suggests maybe it can walk along the floor of the sea, but I'm not sure what the purpose of that would be. The top right version as well seems to suggest that the sort of bit under the neck expands, because I don't think it's like that in the top left one. It's like expanded, and it seems to glow, so maybe that's its way of attracting prey. I really don't know how that's going to work, but it looks awesome. Really cool concept, not really much like anything we've seen before, but also I'd really like to see a sort of more huge Leviathan rather than just long ones, because we have a lot of long Leviathans in Subnautica, and we always have, but we've never really had just a massive Leviathan, like a unit Leviathan. Like the Reefback's probably the closest thing we have to a really fat Leviathan that's just a huge block of thing. I'd really like one of them. Doesn't look like we're going to get one of them, but maybe we will. I'm not really sure. Let me know if you prefer long or thick ones in the comments below. Maybe I'll rephrase that. Maybe I'll cut that out. So now we have some stuff about the glow whale, which is that big whale-like creature. It looks really cool. Now, we have a Favreau card here talking about potential animations that will come with the glow whale, and one of them is a looking into the eye cinematic for test interactions. So that's just maybe we'll get maybe like a scripted first look at the glow whale. Maybe at the very beginning when you go out into the water, a glow whale will come and you'll look into its eye or whatever that's supposed to be, and also riding the whale is a test interaction as well. So, as most of you will be happy to know, the Spy Penguin, which I've covered in a previous video that was made by some fans, has actually been considered for placement in the game, which I know a lot of you will be happy about. But it is still a cut candidate, which means it's definitely not set in stone that it will be in the game, but it's something that they're probably in the process of trying to develop now, or at least considering starting development on it. And if it's going to get into the game, that's really cool that they've actually listened to a completely fan-made idea and implement it into the game. That's really, really great. So, unfortunately, along with these cut candidates, there's also the Vent Garden, which is one of my personal favourite things from the Below Zero that we've seen so far. That really cool Leviathan plant animal thing, really not sure what it is, but it has like a micro ecosystem inside it. It just seems like an awesome idea, but obviously with development time constraints and all of that stuff, it might just be too difficult to make. So, well, we never know, but hopefully I do hope to see the Vent Garden in the game eventually. So we also got some animations for the Snowstalker. It's a very, very strange creature, and it doesn't look exactly like the concept art we saw. The neck is a lot fluffier, and it seems a little bit more stumpy and low to the ground, which is quite weird. But the animations are really, really good, as you could probably imagine from the standard of other animations. It sort of looks like it should be tripping over the way that it runs and stuff, but generally I think it's a really, really cool looking creature, and I can't wait to see it actually in the game. I'm pretty sure if it's got this far now, it's probably going to be in the game, so I would assume that this is now a confirmed creature that's going to be around in the game. Okay, next we just have a quick look at some in-game screenshots from Bippity about the oxygen plant, which is a new plant that we hadn't seen in the game before. This plant, I'm assuming, is actually giving oxygen to the player. Maybe it's like the brain coral from the original Subnautica that would like make bubbles go out of it. Maybe you can sort of gain oxygen by going around that plant. I'm assuming that's how it works. Or maybe you have to interact with the plant, stick your head over the nozzle, and then suck it up. I don't really know how it's going to work. But it's a cool looking plant, and I thought it might be nice just to see a few in-game screenshots that we haven't seen before. Now, this is the big thing that you're probably here for. This is the official beginning of the game. Now, this is probably the first thing that's going to happen when you get into the game. This is massive spoilers, by the way, so if you don't want to know any story spoilers, please click away now. You probably don't want to watch this. But essentially, this is the first thing that's going to happen in the game. Potentially, there'll be a dream sequence or something before this, but for the moment, all we know is that you wake up and then you're in this situation. So I'll let the video play, and I'll maybe interject with my own thoughts midway through. But it's looking awesome. So if you didn't notice there, you probably wouldn't have because it was only there for a frame or two, but one of the voice logs that is actually there on the PDA is "We are different, but we go together," and I think that is the last line that the Sea Emperor says to the guy we play as in the original Subnautica while you're taking off in the rocket. So that's a pretty cool link between the two. Not really sure how that's going to work. Maybe that's the end of the dream sequence is the Sea Emperor talking to Robin, who's the person you play as. I don't really know what they're going with that, but it's definitely a link between the original game. So as you can see, we're outside of the base now, and the landscape, first of all, is just looking amazing. They've done an awesome job with the cliffs and snow on top of the cliffs and all the plants around it. It looks incredible.
This is Vesper Station. Research Station, come in.
Hi, Sam.
Is Jeffries with you?
I haven't seen him.
We lost contact with this GPS tracker up at the research site.
Understood.
Now this actually gives us some background to Sam Goodall, who is the sister of Robin, who is the girl we play as in the game. Age 48, human resources manager. Obviously she's been assigned to the Vesper Station because she's the one up there, and her sibling is Robin Goodall, who is the person we play as, who is an independent contractor. So she was born to a single mother employed by Alterra on City Station 749, studied the Alterra school curriculum until 16, when the family relocated to Arwell, an independent planetary research colony outside Alterra space. Education suffered as a result, but Goodall did not lose her cultural identity and returned to Alterra space as soon as possible to acquire digi-training in advanced management and negotiation strategy. Previous employment: Alterra Seamoth Marketing Division, Alterra Personal Surplus Reduction Division, Alterra Arms Communication, Alterra Central Negotiation Strategy, and Vesper Human Resources Manager, present. Diagnosed obsessive-compulsive, impaired social functioning, professional function may be enhanced for detail-oriented role, prescribed and to roll 12-hour for balanced something, and I couldn't read the last bit because he scrolls up really quickly. But it's cool to have some background information on Robin's sister.
I'll go take a look as soon as I'm ready.
Roger that.
And Sam, the formal bit's cute, but we shared a room. Would it kill your career to act like we'd met before?
Damn it, Robin, you know I'm up for vice president. You know these conversations are monitored.
I don't care who knows it's cute. I've been here 2 weeks and we've hardly spoken.
Now this is definitely one of my favourite parts of the trailer so far. The ice on the wall looks so cool. It's honestly one of the most visually impressive things I've seen from Subnautica in a long time.
Because you insisted on transferring straight to the planet. Find Jeffries.
Yes, ma'am.
Access denied. Continued efforts to access the facility will be denied forcefully. Concede, Robin Goodall.
How do you know my name? I come in peace? Sam, the building just powered up. It spoke to me.
Do you need emergency assistance?
I'm fine. No sign of Jeffries, just his PDA on the ground.
Robin, I'm seeing an electrical storm on the sensors.
I think it's already here.
That cavern isn't stable. You should get back to base.
Sam! Damn it!
And then just as you think you're safe, you're heading back to your base, you jump down onto this frozen lake, make your way around so you can climb the ladder on the far side. The ice breaks underneath you and you're plunged into the icy depths. And your PDA boots into emergency mode because it can tell that you're already in trouble. Now, from here on, you seem to dive down and I don't know what happens after this. But it gives you an emergency survival guide, and this is potentially where you have your first interaction with the glow whale or something like that, just coming out of this cave. Not entirely sure how it's going to work, but either way, it looks really, really cool. Can't wait to play this game. My God. It just looks brilliant, and I'm really excited. Let me know what you think of the intro so far, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. So, if you did enjoy the video, please give it a like. If you're feeling really generous, subscribe to Crunchy. Until next one, I'll see you guys in the next one. Ciao, my friends.